So let's see if tonight is going to be the night that we hit 20 live people simultaneously. That's my goal this month. I'm trying to get 20 people simultaneously on the live. What y'all think? You think we can get 20 people up here simultaneously before the end of December? I mean, we need some real supporters up here, man. Is that too bright? What y'all think? That's too bright? That's too bright, right? I don't need it that bright. Yeah, man. I need your help. And if you are a part of the space, I need you to come up here on the live and explain to people. I need y'all to talk to these people like bosses, right? So shouts out to the real word of Mensa. You heard? He's someone I grew up with. I mean, I don't know if he stayed in here or if he just came in and left out. But shouts out to the real word of Mensa, right? Alright. So now I want to give y'all some announcements too, right? While we here. I'm just working on my light, apparently. I don't know how to do my light. But we stalling it out. So shouts out to all the viewers, shouts out to all the people who are a part of this space. I guess this would be a good opportunity for us to do our daily shout out for the investors of the space, right? So, first and foremost, shouts out to HumMag, JMG Management, the leaseholders, and the owner, partial owner, first investor, prime investor. Let me stop. I'll give a rap introduction to something in business. You know what I mean? Forgive my hip hop. Forgive how much I be on my hip hop vibes. You dig? So this is gonna be brought to you by Promo and Practice. At some point, we're gonna have Promo and Practice every single Friday. I mean, at Newport's and New Studios. On top of the fact that we're gonna have Bedroom Beats Inc. doing all of the sound and playlist curation. And why is that super fly, right? So when you perform, all you got to do is tell us what exactly you want to do. And we're going to put you on the playlist, right? And what I mean, what do you want to do? Well, if you want to put a beat up there, if you want to put a podcast up there, anything that you can imagine, I got you. So shouts out to Ryan, the owner of Bedroom Beats Inc. He going to put you on with getting on a playlist. And we'll talk about stuff like that later, right? We'll talk about how important that kind of opportunity is. So keep it going, right? Shouts out to August Moore from Morehouse Productions. And I love talking about Morehouse Productions, right? Shouts out to Till the End. He was just here last week performing at Promo and Practice. Yeah. If y'all missed Till the End here at Promo and Practice, he gave like a professional level performance, you know. Like, it wasn't like your average performance. Like, he had a lot of good stage presence, if I had to use one word to describe him the most, right? But shouts back out to August Moore, because we could call him the space savior. That was a tongue twister. The space savior, because without him coming to me in private, coming to me in confidence and saying, look, man, you got something really, really good going on here. You don't need to relocate. You don't need to move the brand. You don't need to move the location. And I mean, you need to holler at the people around you and see what you can do to maintain and hold on to what you have. So I want to give a big shout out to Morehouse Productions, because they're going to be helping us with all of the artist development stuff that we always wanted to do. You know what I mean? That's one of the most important parts about Newport's and News is I'm heavily invested in artist development, right? So then we also have another, man, I swear I got a list of people who are invested in the space now. And I'm going to do this every single time. You know what I mean? Until y'all can tell me who the people are, I promise you. So we're also having a new engineer and producer called The Waffle House, brought to you by none other than Smooth Waffle himself. You know what I mean? And we're going to talk more about his expertise. We're going to have him come on the live, talk about himself. You know what I mean? But Smooth Waffle is one of the people I came up to Philadelphia with from Virginia in the first place. You know what I mean? He's the one who helped me pave this monumental legacy into this city. So shouts out to him. And then on top of that, we also want to give a big shout out to Altruistic Vision. Because Altruistic Vision has always helped us keep our events at a high caliber and quality for the last year. You know what I mean? They provide a product at our showcases along with dope performances and artists, you heard? And equally importantly, yeah, there we go. That's the how much light I needed right there. That's how much. And they have a live house band. So, you know what I mean? Shouts out to Altruistic Vision. They'll be hosting events and having highlighted performers at all of our showcases every Friday. All right. And while the list is going, let's give one last special shout out to Amani, right? That's the owner of Black Butterfly, if y'all didn't know, right? And hopefully we see them on the live as soon as possible. Because once we actually have Amani start helping us with, let's just refer to them as Black Butterfly because it's all about the business, right? It's all about the business. So Black Butterfly is going to be helping us coordinate vendors and local performers in Philadelphia. So, and they're going to be bringing a saxophone, but I ain't going to tell all their business because they got a lot of real fire updates. And they're going to be helping us with, how do they call it? Listening parties, structure, and coordination. You see Altruistic Vision in here going, yo, this is why y'all need a team like this, right? You see how everybody had this name? You know what I mean? We really a army. You know what I mean? That's the phrase I'm coming with this year. We are army with it. So I just want to thank everybody for I just want to thank everybody for being a part of this because without all y'all, it's actually pretty corny. It isn't as hard as it could. I mean, it's always important to run up with the squad. I mean, that's how you win the championship rings. But what's good with you?
What's good with it, bro?
Yeah, man. I was trying to stall for you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
I
appreciate
was
it.
trying to long wind the thank you speech.
Uh, Man, you just telling it like it is, man. You let them know what time it is, man. The army's up in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we united. You know, so it feels good, man.
Yeah, I mean the whole
Feels
point
good.
of it is I be hitting people up very often. I would say every day. Like my daily objective is to see
Why so? What's good,
um
bro?
who and not even just who. Yeah, who and who is willing to be invested in what we're doing and who and will allow us to invest in what they're doing and how much. Because I'm being very, very straight to the point and direct with things just off the strength that if you don't, there's levels to this at this point. Like there's entry level, there's knowing what you want to do, and there's people who's done it. So I feel like I'm at the page now where I know what I'm doing. So I have to move in the interest of other people that know what they're doing, people who've done it before, and I gotta lead people who haven't. So it's like I have to move different in regards to that.
Yeah, yeah. It's time to grow the brand and like expand more. I like the move. I like where we at with it. You know what I'm saying? I like everything we're doing with it. Did anybody come up with any topics that they want us to talk about? You know what I'm saying? Then that's
Oh
controversial or
yeah,
anything.
there was mad topics that people were putting on my bot from TJ page um throughout the week. I got mad topics. People were asking about learning about how to make money as an artist. People were asking about mental health. Freddie G was even willing to come up here and talk about um, mindset and having emotion. I believe he said emotional stability or outlets as a creative. Like people been dropping all different types of topics. Even one person had wrote um, they wanted to talk about it was a retro wave. Retro wave had put in a comment. He wanted to talk about what's going on in the health industry right now with the thing.
Talking about the jab.
Yeah. So
Cause you know what you
mad people had hit us up about topics though.
you want to hit one. You want to hit one tonight. Give our opinion. Give our little 2 cents on it.
All right.
And if anybody want to jump up, y'all can jump in and get y'all 2 cents on it as well. We get, you know what I mean, roll like that. Which one you thinking? I was thinking mental health. If
All right, we can do
if
mental
you
health. I mean, I think everybody at this point in the game, right? I feel like everybody uh is consistently in the same wave. Like I feel like at this point, it's a group think kind of thing. Like everybody wants the same thing out of the mental health advocacy and campaign in America and all over the world. I think there's a divide between well, I don't think there's a divide. My divide with this whole campaign on mental health is that everybody can determine what that is for themselves. I don't believe that. I think that there's um, an optimum state, and I think that people aren't holding themselves accountable and don't want to have no standard at all. So now everybody's just like, I can determine my own happiness. I can determine my own success. I can determine my own everything. And it's like, nah, there's what there is, and then there ain't. Like I think there's a standard to these things, and I don't think anybody want to be accountable for having a standard no more. So
what
I
you
don't
mean
know if
like
anybody else lives in that divide, but I know I live in that divide.
what
Other
you mean?
people.
Break it down a little bit. Break it down a little bit for me. So
For example, like today I was talking to somebody about um, being successful, right? And I said, my goal I put it in a caption today, actually. It was a caption on my Instagram. So I'll bring it up real quick and we'll read it out
okay.
because people will be what's the word? Vague and inconsistent with what they saying, in my opinion. I said, I really feel like I'm so close to a million. I'm not mentioning this because a million validates my overall success. I know it means a lot to the people that are impoverished in my community. And once we show people success, they will believe the truth and what we speak of on ownership. So it's
Yeah.
like, I don't want $1 million because $1 million is the end of my ambitious goals. I know that that number means a lot to people who are in poverty. If you say you got 100,000, it's like what I was saying about them levels. You getting something done, but you haven't mastered money in the way people would want to listen to you. So I know that that
Hmm.
number is important to people. Like, but when you talk about
Like a rite of
actual
passage.
financial, yeah, but when you talking about people with an abundant mind state that's not um like impoverished within their mind, they value their time. They
Hmm.
value their health.
Hmm.
They have a lot of other things that are valuable. But I know when
Hmm.
I can talk to people who have an impoverished mind state that like, oh, you care if I have this much money before you're willing to consider
What is
what
I'm
I'm
saying?
saying as
Hmm.
meaningful. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that. I
So
think
I'm
that.
saying, but my point, but the question you asked me is, what do I mean by that? I'm saying that some people will act as if that doesn't exist, like that there isn't um, a status quo. There's a standard. There's um, a requirement, like that. There's no standard,
Hmm.
like that. You can walk around and say, "Well, I'm successful because I had 10 albums out and nobody streams them, but I'm successful because I
In
said
my
I'm
own in
successful."
my own light, because I
That's
feel like I'm
I'm doing.
successful.
I'm not with none of that. I think that
Hmm.
that's making us degenerates.
Hmm.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, it's in
So that's
denial.
why I be divided.
Hmm. No, I agree. I
I'm
agree.
not on that. I'm not. I think mental health looks like you being productive and living an optimum
What's
state of
good with it?
life. That's what I think sound mental health demonstrates and produces is a good lifestyle, and it produces an optimum quality of life, not what I would describe everybody else having is cognitive dissonance. That's what I would
Hmm.
call it.
I think what it is though is how some people choose to deal with their reality. You know what I mean? You call it cognitive dissonance. I totally agree with that. That was a great characterization of it. And when you are at a place where you kind of feel like you have no other choice or there's no way out, you do develop this level of cognitive dissonance. And what I was going to say is speaking to mental health, especially as artists and creatives, um, I feel like we suffer from it the most. A lot of our mental health issues is where our art is created and where we make some of the best music that we have, um, or some of the best art that we have. You know, to not to try and generalize it to just one type of creative,
Yeah, yeah, I
but
get you.
I do believe that um, we, like you said, we can't be in denial about it, and we don't really
Yeah,
speak to, you know what I mean, the truth of what it is and how wealth is important. Money is not all things. I'm not here saying that. You know what I mean? Money isn't all things, but it does help. He said metaphorical mental reflection. Yeah. So I think a lot of it is, you know what I mean, like you said, cognitive dissonance, you know, but in order to create wealth, we have to arrive to another place within ourselves, and then the wealth is going to, you know what I'm saying, manifest itself. And not in the sense of, because Fred said something important earlier. Let me scroll up. Um, and I wanted to say that.
while you
He
looking
says,
for it, right? Let me say this real quick. I say, even if you're looking at your success as getting love, right?
mm-hmm,
I would misconstrue that or switch that out as far as what I mean by that for what everybody else says is love. So if I say love looked like um, I want people to be at my show and cry. If I say that that is the kind of love, if that's what I would demonstrate, the moment that would be the highest epitome of love. So if that's a 10, people laughing and people enjoying themselves and people like feeling something, I
mm-hmm,
would not trade that in for 200 likes. I'm
right,
not going to equate that to love. I'm
right,
not switching up what my standard is based on what's available or what everybody is saying is the qualification or the quantifying factor now. So continue by, you know what I'm saying what Freddie was saying. I was just adding that because I'm like, people be switching up, man.
Fred said a lot of execution needs to be taken, and I agree with that. A lot of times, um, we just expect a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Without, you know what I mean, understanding the work that comes in with it. You know what I mean? The consistency that comes in with it, the dedication. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're gonna have to self motivate. You know, and a lot of us, we don't really understand what it all takes, and then we'll see somebody who has attained um, what the world considers as material success, but we don't really understand what they went through or their struggles and trials and tribulations to arrive to that place. And that's where the cognitive dissonance come into play, where it's like, oh, well, shit, I don't equate, money as being successful. And it's like, money does, you know what I'm saying, in certain respects equate to success. So it wouldn't be smart of you to be like, yo, I don't need to work on my finances or be able to create um some wealth for myself to improve my standard, especially when it comes to things that we're passionate about, you know. But it does take the execution of being able to be that type of person to go out and get whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, um, actively, with a purpose. So But
Right.
back to men-
Look at, that's all I said in the beginning, with a purpose.
with the
That's all I
purpose.
was saying. It's like now everything seems to be all purposeless. And I think that's, like I said, just trying to remove any responsibility or accountability
Yeah,
from having a goal.
yeah,
Like once you have a purpose and a goal, you can then measure your actions, and that's what success truly is, right? Like you're succeeding when you're reaching your goals, and you can measure that success because you have a goal. You know what I'm saying? And that is the purpose behind having a goal, is so that you can measure success.
I've had
It's a
people.
math equation, man. It's like
Right.
it is set this way for a reason. That is why the people who utilize these things have the most optimum quality life. Now, then, like I said, there's always going to be the person who follows this roadmap to success and then don't accomplish it. But
Hmm.
we're saying the rate of success is the highest with that model.
Hmm.
So it's like 1% of people do cocaine and become successful. 75% of people read books and become successful. That's
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and no, neither of these are going to guarantee success. But
Right.
one of them was clearly 74% more probable. And some
Hmm.
people rather
I
live in possibility than probability.
Probability. I think a lot of times, because we live in such an impoverished mindset, and that's just due to the traumas of, being in America, being a part of this capitalistic nation, but being at the bottom of it, you you resign yourself to, um, looking at the possibility of things and not looking at the probability of things, and not educating ourselves in ways where we know what is best in our own interest. And that's one of the things that we have to battle just in our community, is just that idea of, you know a lot of people. So I believe in manifestation, but a lot of people believe that manifestation is the only thing that's necessary for them to be able to be successful in what they want. They think they could just think it into reality and not action it into reality. You know what I'm saying? And that takes a whole different type of energy. That takes a whole different type of sacrifice. That takes a whole different type of, you know what I'm saying, mindset. And that's why I was saying a little bit earlier before about that impoverished mindset. It keeps the inaction there. It doesn't, and then it doesn't allow them. It doesn't allow you to invest in your own thing. Invest in what you're trying to accomplish. Sometimes you have to put some capital behind it. Scare money don't make money. You already know what how I feel about that. I put my money where my mouth is. If I'm gonna do something, I'm willing to put some dollars behind it. Yep. Fred said they really think they can get it without action. It's impossible. It's impossible. And then it's overtime that you got to put in. It's not even just the action. Some people think they do a little bit of action and they think that that's what's going to get it. Nah, fuck no. You got to put the OT in there. You got to have a different type of mindset. Yep.
Well,
Thinking with no energy and motion.
let's look at it. Let's look at it from. Let's continue to look at it more um, objectively, right?
Yeah.
For because when I hear conversations, we frame it in the mindset that we all want the same thing, and I like to talk about it from the
Facts.
idea that I like to talk about it from the idea that what exists, right?
Yeah.
What is prevalent, what is important. And I want y'all to people coming in and out, whatever, but I want to start I'm gonna leave it here, because if you don't give people direction, then they sometimes this is what did I just say? We talk and we move like we all want the same thing. So let me tell people what I want. We're gonna add people to this live.
Mm-hmm.
If you want free tickets, right? Because that's my goal tonight. I'm trying to give out free tickets, and I want you to add people to the live. And I said, and I
Right.
want we overlook that little bit of effort right there.
Mm-hmm.
We think that because that's not going to get us everything, that it won't get us anything. And that's part of just the impoverished mindset you talked about earlier. But let's just look at it from overall, right? I'm on this live, and people are gonna come on this live because they see that we're on the live. But what is the overall thing that we're all trying to do at this time of the day? If we really think about it, we're trying to find something that is beneficial for ourselves. But if we really look at what is important to the situation that we all are in, is we need to find places that are wanting to invest in one another, right? Like that's what's going to be the most beneficial. So you said it earlier. We don't look at what's probable. We look at what's possible. So what's probable is we could all give each other. Y'all could all donate $5 right now as y'all walk through this live, and I'd be a lot more successful, opposed to as if I asked you, hey, everybody, can you go find me this imaginary thing that no one has, but find it for me though, right? But because I know I don't have it and you don't have it, I'm asking everybody else to find it. But then you say, okay, well, money seems too easy to just give. And that's why I say sometimes we don't really just look at things for what they are, which is if you want to help somebody, we all know the universal way to do that is money. So when we ask each other, oh, how can I support, or how can I do this, or how can I do that? It's like we all know what is indiscriminately helpful to everyone. But we'll make it real complicated, because the truth is we're not really truly trying to help one another. And shouts out to 10. I don't know what I just did, right? You see what just happened? When I told people what I wanted, we just went to a whole nother level. But when I came into it believing that we all wanted the same thing, that is when we didn't get anything accomplished. So that's all I'm saying is, like, if you don't make it apparent to people what it is that they can gain from things, then they're not really going to be all the way in tune with it. But it goes to the next level, which is, and I want you to add what you think to this.
Okay.
How are you going? Is anybody going to ask how to get them tickets though? You can give me everything that I'm asking for, but it goes both ways. You got to ensure that you take advantage of getting what you worked for. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think about that model? Like, most people think about everybody wanting the same thing, but me and you talk off the phone about thinking about what everybody else wants to get what we want.
You want to know something? This is how I look at it, right? Look, Courage say how. Courage wants to know. This is how I look at it. And the reason why we're in that space where we always thinking about what someone else wants or what everybody else wants is because when you make yourself an asset to others, and this is for everybody that's on here, that's listening, that's having trouble to, get into that next level, having trouble to cracking through that glass ceiling that's preventing you. One of the things that I picked up, and this was from this, I think this was a millionaire telling me this. I think I was maybe watching a TED talk or some shit like that. And they were basically saying the way that you create opportunity for yourself, the opportunity that you believe you deserve, is becoming an asset to someone else. There's so much power in giving and thinking about others that, most people don't even know to tap into. A lot of us are on here looking for an opportunity to advance ourselves, looking for someone that's giving something away. One of the biggest things that happened with me is once I changed my mindset, especially as an artist, as to what can I get? Can I get this interview? Can I get this song done? Can I get this? Can I get that? And switched it to what can I give? And I start going into places and was like, how can I help you? You know what I mean? Genuinely. Not with the ulterior motive in my mind, but genuinely, like, listen, I see what, I see what you're trying to accomplish. Is there anything that I have that I can assist you on your journey with? And then once I started doing that, my collective started growing. The people around me started growing. I'm able to help other people out in their way and what they're trying to accomplish and what they're trying to do. And in turn, they're grateful to me and begin to help me out in ways that I could never even imagine, or put me in the places or in front of people that I never thought I'd be in front of. So that's what the mindset is how can I offer up assistance? And I guarantee you, to everybody that's listening to this, everybody that's on here, yeah, exactly. Teamwork makes the dream work. Kurt said it the right way. Everybody that's on here that's listening to this, making yourself an asset to someone else is what's going to open up all of the doors. You have to figure out, how can I be more of an asset to the people that are around me.
Well, that's not something you can't make that go fast, right? That means
Right.
you'd have to,
Right.
and you would have to genuinely take the time, because I watch some of my brothers, and I'm gonna be a little bit straightforward with this, right? I
Speak
be
that
hanging
shit.
around some of my brothers, and they'll say, "Man, I know what she needs. Look at her. She looking like this. She moving like that. If she had this or that in her life, she could be like this and that." And I'm looking at him like, "You don't even know her.
That's, you know what,
Like,
but that's
you don't even know her.
presumptuous, bro.
Like,
That's presumptuous. That's presumptuous. My thing is that you ask them, because everybody's different. Your perception of what you think somebody needs or what you feel like somebody needs is not the thing. That's presumptuous. So if you ask and be like, what do you need? You'd be surprised. What do you need? How can I assist you or help you, you know what I'm saying, create an opportunity for yourself? Anything that's presumptuous, that's gonna make you look stupid, and then you be dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, my bad, man.
nah, that was it. That was it. So I take that thought process with this art stuff, right? We were
Yeah.
talking about earlier looking for influencers that could help push the event in the direction we wanted, right?
Yep.
But
Make
the
it bigger.
first thing I said was, the first thing I'm saying is, how do I do that practically? Because sometimes people want more than is realistic. It's like, I can't. I would be sinking. Like, why would I sink my own ship? You get what I'm saying? So that, to be more clear for everybody, um, sometimes when you're trying to make an event, or you're trying to make a music video, or you're trying to make an album, you gotta bring in all the people to be a part of it that have the skills that you need. So you need a producer, you need a photographer, you need someone that with a venue, you need the things that you need.
Oh yeah.
But you also have to consider, what is it that you can actually afford, and like the labor of it, and how much time will it actually take to do all of these things, because you got to go to work, you got to account for your rent, you have to do so many different things. So that's what I mean by, you don't want to sink your own ship trying to
Right.
provide something good to someone,
Mm-hmm.
right? Look, the perfect analogy was, you say you want to give somebody a ride, but what if the ride you giving them can't make it to where they want to go?
Right.
It,
Right. Now I
that
get
would
you.
be counterproductive.
What I think is, what I'm saying is, um, when you make yourself an asset to other people, it's not so much as in like, let me go out and do all things for all people. It's not so much in that respect, but more so like the mindset. If you could think of if your mindset is different, like say for instance, you see a millionaire that is just killing the real estate game. You know what I'm saying? A normal person mindset is, how can I get close to them and know what they know? You know what I'm saying? What can I do to get close to them? How can I get that from him? How can I learn how he did that? Or how can I get that, you know what I mean, get an opportunity? That's their mindset. But if the mindset isn't, if you already come into the mindset of like, damn, you know what I'm saying, it looks like, I'm looking at his page and he looked like he needed some help with just marketing or promoting or something like that. You can go ahead and hit him up and be like, I was looking at your page, I seen that you know what I mean, you need help with some marketing, would it be okay if I, you know what I'm saying, help you with that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what we need. She said you still have to keep personal boundaries in order to truly help someone and be a true, that exactly. You can't go outside of what you're capable of. That would be ridiculous. But just whatever you can offer. And that's
That
what I
was
mean
that was
by,
the best way. That was the best way to put it. You can't go
yeah.
outside of what you're capable of.
Yeah, you don't have to kill yourself to be. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, it has to be. It has to be within. But what you can do is you can add things to yourself, like a cameraman, right, or a photographer. They're already an asset. You know what I'm saying? They already have something that they can use to leverage to be able to go inside certain places and create certain opportunities for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Just being that asset and thinking along those lines. That's why I
But
respect a
see,
lot of
look, I
retired
want to
people.
stop you again, right? I'm gonna be the pushback because
Go ahead,
we're
push it.
doing the same thing again. We're assuming that we all want the same thing. So what if somebody knows that they are an asset, right? And they want to make you liable, right? What if that's some people's intent? Some people
Wait, we
intend to be, some people know that they have an asset and would like for you to be liable for that asset. So they want their asset to appreciate over value in time because that's what an asset is,
right.
right? Beats the rate of inflation on whatever is approaching it as a value. But
Right.
what if they're saying you should cover the cost of that liability, right? Every home needs maintenance. Every everything needs maintenance for lack of a better self-preservation. Absolutely. Some people look to preserve themselves and drain you. So I want to make that prevalent in
So
the conversation
that
because we're not all here to be an asset to one another. Some of us
well
are
that's
looking
what
to slide the tab over to someone
yeah.
else.
Look,
That's
she
what
said it
some
before I
people are
could.
into.
Curry said it before I could. That's what your personal boundary is for. If you acknowledge that and accept it, then that's you accepting it. But if you don't, you won't you know? I think I'm reading that wrong. If you don't, you won't know. Something like that.
Give an example. Okay, got you. Give an example. An employee shows up to work late
Let me
every
answer to
day,
yourself
right?
first. Mm-hmm.
And they say, "Well, I don't have a car, right? Pay me more and I'll get here on time. I'll buy a car." You pay them more. 3 months go by, they don't buy a car. 6 months go by, they don't buy a car, but now they have the raise. That's a perfect example. Sometimes people know that you need them, right? And they'll make you dependent on them with no return on what you've invested in needing them. So let's say you do get the car. Some people get the car, and then instead of coming to work and leaving on transit an hour prior to ensure they get there on time, they putting the blunt out and leaving 20 minutes before they're supposed to get there.
Mm-hmm.
The job knew that before. They knew what did they know? Oh, I don't want to assume where he going with this, but the job, you shouldn't tolerate certain things. Yeah, that's why people get fired. Okay, yeah, they would get fired internally, right? Essentially, like if all right, so I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. You wouldn't allow someone to become a liability. I know where K Gold's going today.
That's where
He said I wouldn't
personal
allow you
boundaries.
to become a liability.
Right. That's where personal boundaries come into play at. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like you're
He
gonna.
said that's
It's
what
not like
everybody's saying. They like I'm not gonna let you.
right, right. That's where
They like
personal
you can
boundaries
try
come into
it.
play. Yeah, exactly. It's like nigga, hell no, nigga. I know what the no button is. The fuck, you know what I'm saying? So that's where
I'm
personal boundaries come
crying.
into play at. Yeah, yeah. Nah,
I'm
and that's
dead.
exactly what I was gonna get to. That's exactly what I was going for. It's the personal boundaries. What I'm saying is you have the mindset of becoming an asset for somebody and kind of losing and shedding that ideology of self-preservation and having, because I'm gonna tell you like me, right? I've
Oh,
always had
that's
an
funny.
abundant
I love
I've always
that.
had an abundance mindset, right? My mindset is always like if I have it if I have it to give and you need it, I will give it. You get what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go out and find it for you to give it to you, but if I have it to give and it doesn't take away from what it is that I have and like put me in a deficit, then I'm gonna share it with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people might hold that back and be like, shit, nah, I know I have it to give to you right now, but I might need it later, so I'm not sharing anything. And what
Right.
that does
And
is
that was essentially where I was going.
yeah,
Right. That was
what
essentially
that
where
does
I was
is it closes the door, right? So like if I have it to give and you need it, right? Boom, I give it to you and you take it and you grow something exponential out of it. Something that just blew my motherfucking mind. You never even thought that you could do. And it turned and manifested into something crazy, right? At that
Right.
point,
Right. That's the
me and
whole
you not,
point.
at that point, and it's not even on no like, you owe me type shit. But I know that somebody that when you give for real and you give from the heart and you give it like, you know what I'm saying, with the intention of giving and seeing that person become a greater version of themselves, they turn back around and never forget that shit, yo. I can't tell you how many times in my life, motherfucker come up to me and be like, bro, you remember when you helped me with blah, 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 blah? And I'm like, nigga, no. You know what I'm saying? I don't even remember doing that. He's like, yeah, man, that changed my life. You know what I'm saying? That phone call you gave me changed me. That time you was there changed me. And I'm like, bro, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't even remember that because I just give. It's just in me to just give. You know what I'm saying? I don't give from a place where I don't have, where I have this resentment. I give from a place where I do have, because I live in an abundance. I have an abundant mindset. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm speaking to, is just the mindset of understanding that you're going to get more out of life being a servant than you would being a consumer. K. Gold said, if you truly want to be an asset, you'll make sure that you won't be the opposite, a liability. Facts. Put 100 on a comment. Curtis said, giving is a blessing and a curse if you don't know how to balance it properly. Yes, that's true. That's why you got to give from a place. My mother always taught me, she was like, when you give something, don't like, if I give money to somebody, never give money with the intentions of receiving it back, even if it's a loan. So if I ever loan somebody some money, just as a friend or anybody, I only loan what I'm okay with losing without even having that mindset of like, man, what the fuck, you owe me my motherfucking money type shit. If I loan you some money, it's basically a gift. You know what I'm saying? And then if you return it to me, that I look at that as a gift, because I didn't give it out with the intentions of, damn, what the fuck I'm gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I done gave you my last, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have nothing for myself. If I can give it, I will. But if I can't, I'm gonna tell you, no, I can't do it.
Right. Respectfully. So I mean, shit, you wanna, if anybody got Q&A, right? You know what I mean? They got that little bubble on the side, and I prefer people use the circle with the question mark on the bottom right hand corner, because then it doesn't float up and I don't gotta keep scrolling. You know what I mean? So if you got something that you're trying to say or ask or put in the chat, you try to use that little circle over there, because then we can even put it and post it on the page, so then everybody can see it and see that you said it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And if, like I said before we go, if y'all want to get a moment as a guest, then also look in the corner and utilize that. The last thing I want to talk about before we go is that is that a lot of the time, right, we don't use we don't know that we don't know. That's something that someone had to warn me about, being a boss that's mentoring me. They were like, most people don't know that they don't know. And that's why
it's true.
You know, it gets hard to create an environment that's good for certain situations or people that don't know, because they might fight it. I was talking to Jasmine today, and she was talking about how ethical and ensuring business code structure and what are those called? Plans? Not plans. Licenses. No, not licenses. What are those things called when you get like a LLC or a S corp? What are those called? Business.
Those are just entities.
Like people be like, I'm gonna get an LLC. What is that referred to? What is that called? Getting a bit.
It's
owning
like
a business.
Entity. It's like an entity. Like
okay, so when people file to own a business, for lack of a better word, she was saying that that's a very good process, and I'm like, yeah, but if you take that phrase to an institution of people who suffer from it, they don't see what you're talking about. Like, you cannot get a bunch of people who suffer from the hand of corporate business practice and say, businesses are going to keep you safe and ensure that your liability and all of your interests are going to be met in your taxes, and like they don't benefit from that. You know what I'm saying? So it is, you're always, that's how the rich get richer and the poor gets poorer, because you can preach to the choir and explain to someone with hundreds of thousands of dollars of equity in a home how that investing is important. Like, it's easy to get them to understand. But the person who is buying their child Nerds rope and honey buns with hot fries tomorrow morning before school as breakfast with two what are those called, Lucy's, that person is not trying to open up a stock brokerage today. So it's like
But you want to,
the wealth.
but I
That's why
think that,
wealth gaps just grow, like
yeah,
because
that's true.
people don't acclimate well to what they're not
Absolutely.
benefiting from.
I think that, and it's always bringing me back to this. I think that that's what we're here for, because it only speaks to the mindset. So, like you said, they don't know what they don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it speaks to the mindset of putting out the information to even provoke the thought that, you know what, maybe I should look into the stock market. You know, these motherfuckers was talking about signing up for Fidelity as a brokerage and starting to invest a little bit of money into my brokerage account and getting a return on my shit. And it just that little bit of information, you know what I'm saying? Just that little bit of information to change somebody's shit. He said it comes with humility, I believe. Yeah, just that little bit of information to change some shit, man. So it's like, you know, you'll start to see somebody that venture off into something that is greater. And I get what you're saying though.
So before we get out of here, I want to let y'all know, right? Promar Practice has a limited amount of free tickets available. You can grab them before the end of Thursday morning. It'll be gone. But if you go there now, if you share it, if you're interested, I'm gonna leave this live up. If you want to get free tickets, right, that's where they'll be at. So just to chime in on what you mentioned, you said that's what we're here for, and
Yeah.
I agree, and I am here to help. I'm here to teach and all of that. And I'm not a fearful person. I don't operate in fear. I operate from confronting fear. And when I make this statement, that is what I'm providing everyone as awareness, right? I'm confronting the fear of people think that what is defeating them is more important than me helping them some days, right? So if I say, come to this open mic, practice, promote your brand, some people will believe that that $5 or maybe even more money would be more suitable giving to Spotify placement on a playlist. So for me, it comes increasingly deterring, not discouraging, because it all comes, like I said, we got courage. I can confront the fear of knowing that people prefer big business over small business for lack of just name dropping, right? But I'm saying it's not discouraging. It was the word I used initially, where it makes me disinterested. It makes me disinterested in helping, because it's one thing to say I'm aware of what's not helpful and I don't want it anymore, and I want a difference. I want a different alternative. I want to change. People don't want to change. You said it earlier. They're just upset that they're not getting what they want. So then they'll try something else, but so I can't get on Spotify, so I'll try something else, but I still really want Spotify. I'm only trying this until I get on Spotify. You don't really want something different. You're just taking what's available because you don't know anything else. That's what you said earlier. You don't know anything else, right? So that's not loyalty. That's like blind loyalty. You're only going to rock with it until you get what you think you want. So that's always my issue with spreading knowledge and helping people, is because they'll take, and then they'll just take. And they'll just take.
I get exactly what you're saying. I've dealt with people just in my life that if I help them with something, they get to a place where they believe that they're like obligated to it. I read that in the 48 Laws of Power. I don't know if you ever read that book. It went off. You remember the story where they were talking about it was the king that he had a best friend, and he would give his best friend any and everything he ever asked for in the world. All the best friend had to do was ask for it. He had so much of the. I'm gonna pull it back up. I forget what law it was, but the king had so many. So he was rich, or he might have been a sultan or an emperor or some shit like that, right? And the best friend would get everything he ever wanted.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And
yeah.
then the best friend
I
came and usurped
put
him.
that in my post today. The Sultan
Yeah.
power struggle. Yeah, I put that in my post today.
Exactly. So I get what you're saying about that. There are
Oh,
people that
yesterday. It
will.
was yesterday.
There are people that are gonna misuse. There are people that are gonna to take advantage of what you give them. They're always out there, but that doesn't mean that you gotta pull back. You know what I'm saying? Because you giving out that information could change somebody's life that you didn't even know you reached. They wasn't even in your inner circle. They wasn't in your scope. They wasn't even in your field of vision. And you'll reach that motherfucker and change their life. You know what I'm saying? So and then that blessing that you did, that energy that you put out there is gonna come back tenfold. You know what I'm saying? So you're not speaking to the motherfucking vampires. You speaking to the motherfucker that's out there that needs to hear what you have to say to provoke that thought so that they can become something greater. You know what I mean? So that's why it's always best to live in that abundance mindset. Because to withhold, if
Yeah.
you're withholding, you're gonna withhold from yourself as well. If
Right.
you withhold, you're withholding from yourself as well.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
that's
So
powerful.
I get why you
You're
said,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, no, but you said if you
I
withhold,
see why
you're
you say
withholding
that.
from yourself. That
Yep.
makes a lot of sense, because if you treat yourself like something else, then that's what people gonna go off of.
Right.
So
You're
you
gonna
gotta
put that
treat yourself.
energy out. That's the
Yeah.
type of energy you putting out. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not putting out the right type of energy, you attract who you are. So
And
if
it's
you give
funny
out
you
that
say that, right? Because my greatest skill, well, it's not funny, it's actually reaffirming with it. My greatest skill, people tell me, is that nigga look like he's not playing with nobody. And so that really wards off a lot of the
bullshit.
just
Mm-hmm.
right, yeah. So
I
it's
get you.
like, yeah, that, I get what you're saying.
I
Like,
have
I
a bruh.
definitely, and I intend to move and appear as if I'm not with none of the shenanigans.
But bro, look,
So
I feel
makes a
like it's
lot of sense.
ancestral. I feel like it's
The only time
ancestral.
that the weird stuff comes is when I let it come. Like,
Exactly. I
that
feel
makes
like it's
sense.
ancestral like energy around me because I've been in certain situations where, you know what I mean, just in situations, just being my natural self and a giving person. And if I was given to the wrong people. But I don't look back at it and think like, damn, I lost that giving to the wrong people. I give without any prejudice. So if I'm giving to you, I can afford to give it to you, and I have no problem with you having it and never returning it. And I'm okay with that. Like personally, I'm always gonna be okay with that. But those people just kind of exit out of my life where they don't just continue to kind of just feed off of me like a damn parasite because I always had those boundaries. You get what I'm saying? So it's like a energy field that my ancestors provide me, even though I'm a giving person
Man,
to
you better
protect me
than
from the
me. I'm
bullshit.
gonna let the audience know now. August is better than me.
Nah.
I'm sending the hyenas. I'm sending the hyenas. I'm not playing that. You
Yeah.
you don't bring me my money, I'm sending them hyenas.
It
I
don't always be
promise you.
money. It don't always be money, dog. It could be an opportunity. It don't always be money. It could just be an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't trust you, if I don't, you know what I'm saying, if we're not cool like that, I would never give no money out. It ain't like somebody come up to me like August, you know what I mean? Can I get, you know what I mean, get $100? And like, nigga, fuck no, nigga. Get the fuck out of my face. But if it's somebody else, you know what I'm saying, it's like, if I, shit, if you need it, I'll lend it to you.
I,
Without the intention to get it back.
they better. You seen that one white boy that was acting like he was from. He's like, I got Tom today. You
Yeah.
best to hope I ain't
That's
got
gonna be
Tom
your ass.
today.
That's gonna
That
be your ass.
that's all it is. If I ain't got no Tom, then you all right. But don't let me be sitting at the house and be like, oh, I got Tom today. Don't let it be that. I promise you, I'm gonna figure it out and come see about you. I promise you. So like I just said, everybody not thinking the same, and I always keep that in consideration because, like I said, I'm with all the love. I promise you. But I'm what he said. He said nowadays people is into violence and or violins. That's what Jay-Z said.
I'm gonna say
They
this.
they
Look,
want violence or they want violins. I
I'm
promise
gonna
you.
say this too. On another note, a lot of things like when you have a lot, when you have a lot, like a lot to lose, not everything be worth it.
That's what I was saying, right? If I
Not
ain't got no
everything.
time, then
Not
you good, right?
it just don't equate to me losing everything that I
Yeah,
got just
right.
operating off of like, you know what I'm saying, not logic, but operation off of emotion. Like, You know, you trying
Mm-hmm.
to play on me, I come over there and I'll show you. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you know,
You said
sometimes
after a while, it
you
don't
gotta
even be
pick and
worth it.
choose. It
Yeah.
depends though. It depends though. Not some things are worth it. Some things are worth it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it depends on what you know what I'm saying, how you feel about certain things. So, but I get you.
No, that's good. Yeah. No, that's a good point. So y'all got two options: respect August's auric field of abundance,
Listen, it work
or
on it. They don't even have to respect it. It's gonna work on its own. Damn, you ain't gotta
right,
respect this shit.
be aware of it. Be
Be
aware of
aware
that
of it.
thing.
Yeah, be aware of it. It's there.
Or I'm gonna turn into Scar, and I'm gonna send them hyenas on Simba. You think you
Right.
Simba, and I'm gonna send them hyenas over there, and I'm gonna be on the top of the cliff.
Right. Right. Right.
It's like, nah, but you know what I mean? I thank y'all
That's
for
my
pulling up
dog.
and giving me our time. You heard?
Yeah.
We gonna see y'all tomorrow, man.
Yeah, we back in this. All right, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Them hyenas, boy, them things ain't playing.